Say hello to Austin Price of Volquest.com, part of the On3 Network. Joining us, thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, thank you for the time. As always, since we've last talked, Tennessee has promoted from within with the tight ends coach position. I don't think that was a big surprise, but we have that news, plus him meeting with the media today, Alec Ablin, and then the promotion of Joey Halsley to offensive coordinator. Thoughts on the move, especially at the tight ends position, and their introduction, talking to the media in their new roles today?
Yeah, I'm not. I think that Coach Heupel has proven that he's one that values staff camaraderie, values not a lot of differing voices, kind of unified one voice, and I think so. Experience in the system, especially offensively. Now we've not seen what he'll do defensively if there was a change, because that's remained intact. But offensively, we've seen a couple of changes the last 2 years, and he promoted Kelsey Pope last year, and he promoted Alec Ablin this year. And hearing Joey Halsley talk today about Ablin the teacher, I thought was just an interesting dynamic that even for a guy that's not ran a room before, he's still proven to be a teacher. On the chalkboard, a teacher in other facets. And so Coach Heupel felt like it was just the right move to promote from within. And, I also thought it was interesting, Coach Halsley talked about today as well, when he hires QCs and GAs, he's doing so because he sees that if they go about things the right way, those people can eventually be on the field coaches. So again, who he hires as a QC offensively could tell you who could be potentially your wide receivers coach down the line, or running backs coach down the line, or whatever, because he does feel comfortable kind of staying in-house offensively. Now again, we don't know defensively what he'll be like when and if he were to lose a defensive coach.
What was your biggest takeaway from the Senior Bowl and several Vols being down there and representing Tennessee?
Well, the Darnell Wright is doing exactly what I thought he would do, and I said this for the last 6 or 8 weeks. Like, Darnell's going to show well. He's one that again is still very young. He started when he started his first game at Tennessee. He was 17. I mean, he played 4 full years. He's just turned 21 back in August. It's not like, he's an older guy. I mean, so much you hear about this guy's 24 and 25, and where everybody talked about Hendon's age or Stetson Bennett's age. Well, Darnell's the opposite of that. He played 4 full years and is graduating and moving on to the NFL as a 21-year-old. So his best football's still ahead of him. And, I think that, he's a freak athletically. I think, he'll run the shuttle well. He'll run the 40 well. He'll jump well. This is a guy that can drop step, dunk a basketball at 330 pounds. He'll test well at the combine. I will be shocked if you don't see him continue to rise coming out of the Senior Bowl. The big news today is that, 7 Vols are going to be at the NFL Combine, which is the most they've had at the Combine in a while. So, a lot of guys with a chance to kind of improve their stock coming up over the next few weeks.
You cover high school football, too, during the season, Austin, and Robert Ayers is someone that has coached at multiple places here at East Tennessee on the defense side of the football, and now added as a member of the defensive staff. What do you think Tennessee is getting in Robert Ayers? It worked out perfectly for him, because I know that being on the staff was something he wanted to do for a while, but under Pruitt just wasn't enough opportunities. Now it opens up perfectly with a positive environment, a stable environment for him to be added.
Well, again, he's a guy that, is going to bring a lot of energy, someone who understands kind of, being one way when he got to campus, and then, maturing and developing and morphing into, a first-round draft pick by the Denver Broncos by the time he left campus. Jason, you were around him, when he was playing, and kind of like how much he grew up, there under Coach Brooks, and, kind of developed, as a D lineman at Tennessee. Now he'll be sitting there with Rodney Gardner, and Coach Gardner's going to be able to use him as a nice chess piece when, hey, Robert, James Pierce, has all the world of potential, still has some growing up to do. Impart some of your wisdom of your experience on James Pierce and try to unlock that piece for James Pierce. I think he can be a real asset because he's, again, been through it and understands, the buy-in from that perspective. And, again, anytime you've got a former first-round pick that's on your staff in some form or fashion, I think it's a positive. Not that all first-round picks can be coaches, because they can't. But, when you find one that can, that experience is a nice piece for your current team to kind of see, okay, look where he got to, played 8 years in the league, 10 years in the league, whatever, and go from there.
I think Robert Ayers can have the impact on these players the same way that Jay Graham had an impact on the running backs when he started his coaching career with Gerald Riggs and Cedric Houston and all those boys. When Trooper was a running back coach, for the first time, Jay was the guy that really helped that group.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you whatsoever. Again, I think having a guy who's not too old, he's not spring chicken by no stretch, but he's not old. He still has the cachet and the swag and all the stuff that the kids talk about. I think that can really benefit him. And again, him being able to learn under Rodney Garner also is super beneficial for Robert Ayers. Kind of seeing how Coach Garner manages the room, manages the personalities in the room, how he coaches, how he handles different kids different ways. I think all that helps him, eventually become a defensive line coach somewhere at this type of level.
Austin Price is with us from Volquest.com. He joins us thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. And talking earlier about Darnell Wright, we were talking earlier in the show about his rise as an NFL draft prospect, potentially helping Tennessee's future recruiting with offensive linemen. Do you think that's the case, Austin? If we're overrating how that might impact Tennessee, let us know. But is that something that can help in Tennessee trying to recruit at a higher level on the offensive line?
Oh, it's absolutely beneficial, Josh. I said before the season started, I was talking to somebody on campus, and I said, I know you guys would love to have Darnell for 2 years. That's probably not likely. So what you need is him to go out and ball out, check, perform well at the Senior Bowl, check, perform well at the Combine, and get drafted high. Now, the next two, we'll see what they check off. But, that's the one thing that this staff is missing, in my opinion, is the ability to say, oh, first-round pick, this guy, first-round pick, this guy, first-round pick, that guy. If things played out really, really well for Tennessee at the draft, it would be Darnell Wright going first round, Jalen Hyatt runs like the wind first round, Cedric Tillman runs well, gets going in day 2 in the second or third round, Byron Young second or third round, somebody takes a chance on Hendon Hooker second or third round, all of a sudden you got 5 guys in the first 2 days, and it's like, that was a team that was 4-6 a few years ago. So I think, the more you can have draft success, the more it helps sell and recruiting. Not every kid looks at that, but a lot of them do.
We've had a couple of junior days and basketball games where prospects were in to visit Tennessee. Any notable guys that's worth mentioning being here on campus and visiting?
Well, I think Tennessee did a good job in January of getting kids here. There were some, like a Ronan O'Connell, who's deep into the high school wrestling, who couldn't make it, who'll be here in March. Quarterback Jake Merklinger, I think he's going to come in March, who's from Savannah, Georgia. But Tennessee got, a couple of big-time offensive linemen. They had Ryan Wingo here. They had J.J. Harrell here. From the running back standpoint, you like where they're at, with a number of different, tailbacks, and, Jordan Marshall, the kid from Moeller High School up in Cincinnati. Tennessee's the only Southern school fighting for him. It's Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Tennessee in his top 4. So, Tennessee's has done a nice job. They got to continue to do that. I still think that March and April are, most likely when you start to see Tennessee make a run with commitments. I think there's an outside shot. You see one in February. but I think early March at the absolute latest is when you'll see Tennessee's next commit.
We haven't done an over-under, have we, in a while? Swain, you want to do one for February? Can you set it at a half? Does Tennessee get one in February? You want to go out on any kind of limb?
I'll go over.
Oh, okay.
I'll go one gets done this month.
I was thinking it's too early to put that type of pressure on Austin Price, but Austin clearly can handle it. He's a pro. He knows his stuff. That's why he's on Josh and Swain.
And the whole staff streams the show live, so they're probably going to say, "Okay, we got to go get one now. We got to make Austin right.
That's right.
Got to make him right." You heard it from him right here. You can read his work, see his work at Volquest.com, and he joins us each week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs, making it unique, making it special, making it just for you. They want to be your jeweler there at Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Find him on Twitter as well, at Austin Priceless. Austin, thank you for the time as always. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Austin Price with us.